chat live stream where I am drinking tea.
Good afternoon with coffee for me.
Good. All right. At least you're bringing the coffee.
That's right. At least one of us has got the coffee going on.
I don't even know who I am anymore, really.
Who even are you?
I have no idea. It's so bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
And I'm still trying to figure out what I like to drink in the morning because I don't even know. I mean, yeah. So this morning I had a keto chow for breakfast, and I was like, I don't want a hot chocolate after I just had a keto chow, and so that didn't work. And so I was like, I guess tea. So I made a chai tea with some cream and some of the chai chocolate element.
Very cool. I haven't tried that one yet. I did get my order in, but I've not yet tried it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the best way to use the chai one because putting it in chai tea is, I mean, that's going to be good, but I don't think you're you're not really getting the chocolate chai element because it's just mixed in with the other chai flavor. So I'm trying to think of like other ways to use it that's really going to, make the chai flavor pop for itself, anyways.
Sure.
Yes.
We got lots of people here already. Hello, everybody.
Cindy popped in. She said that she's going to have to catch the replay, but she wanted to say hi, and she's finally feeling so much better. I'm so glad.
She still sounded a little froggy on her peppermint video.
Yes, but on the mend. Joanna's here from Arizona. Blaze is here. Gary is here. Rickwin is here. Rickwin is not late today. Good job.
Yay!
Love it. Let's see. Blaze and Eclectic Cabin is here. She says, I love chai. Just tried the chocolate element. That she won from me, and it's so good.
Very cool.
Yes, need to try the medley. Yeah, the medley is so fun. Just all the different flavors.
Well, what I find fun is I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember I Marco'd you and I said I tried to put raspberry in my coffee because chocolate and raspberry tend to go in coffee, and it was horrendous because that raspberry was super tart by comparison to like something that's more like sweet raspberry. So I'm glad that it came out with chocolate raspberry because I was like, that would be so good.
I was looking at the little booklet. Let me see if I think it's right over here.
And it suggested one, didn't it? I'm gonna fuss with my hair today, y'all.
Not right over here, but I thought it was. They were saying if you don't have the chocolate raspberry element, just use 2/3 of chocolate and 1/3 of raspberry. So it's like a lot smaller amount of raspberry than it is of the chocolate. So
I erred on the side of caution and decided to just order the medley so I could just try like their properly proportioned chocolate raspberry.
Yes. The chocolate raspberry in hot chocolate is quite delicious. And then of course chocolate mint in hot chocolate is quite delicious.
So when they came out and said that they were doing one of the chocolate flavors as like a full box, the chocolate caramel, I was a little bit crestfallen over that because chocolate mint to me is like the one, which is also why I was so excited about the keto chow peppermint. I mean, I love it.
It's just your thing. Yeah.
It is. That and dog.
Go ahead.
That's it.
Eclectic Cabin is asking, does Element ever have a sale? And I don't believe so. I don't know that
I've never seen
a actual like discount price or coupon code. They just do the free sample pack with your order. So it's just a different business model. There's like the businesses that are all about affiliates and trying to get affiliate marketing with discounts, and then there's others that do that and then also do like all the big sales constantly, and so they have to price their products with that in mind, like that's how we're gonna market. But Element, the way that they have done it is a lot of sponsorships. Because they don't do, at least not for me, they don't do commission. Like if you order using my link, I don't get a cut of that. They just pay me for the sponsored ads that I do. I don't know if it's set up differently for other affiliates, but that's how it works for me. So it's a little bit different of a business model and seems to be working pretty well for them. That's all I got to say.
Yes.
Let's see. Sing It is here. And Rose is okay. She says, I put raspberry in my Diet Coke. That sounds interesting. I mean, we have like cherry cola, cherry Coke. Why not raspberry? That's a great idea. I'm gonna have to try that in a Zevia and see if it's good. I just found that my Costco sells Zevia now.
Fun.
They did not for a long time. And I'd see other people like at Sam's Club. We don't have Sam's Club here. People would say, oh, I got Zevia at Sam's Club. Finally, we got like big box of, all different flavors. That made me very happy. And
that is super cool. Our Sam's Clubs that we have access to around here, I don't ever go down the soda aisles because I don't ever drink those.
Right.
But I've never noticed a Zevia before in our Sam's Clubs. And we don't really have them at our Walmarts. I think they're at Target, maybe. Maybe it's just Kroger. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was excited. And it was significantly cheaper than just the regular stores.
Yeah.
So I was very happy about that. Let's see. Okay. Gary says no sugar mango Pepsi.
Oh,
I've never seen that. And it sounds crazy, but I mean, I'd taste it.
For sure.
All right. Let's see.
He also said chocolate orange a little while earlier.
Chocolate orange, like
I do love chocolate orange flavor. Those old fashioned chocolate oranges that you slam them down.
Yes. Yes, actually, when Element announced that they were coming out with new flavors for their medley, I was like, brainstorming, like, what's it going to be? And I was thinking chocolate cinnamon, which chocolate chai is similar, and chocolate orange. I thought that would be a fun flavor for them to do.
I think they should have done some of the chili in the chocolate flavor to give it like a Mexican chocolate.
Oh, I thought of that one too, like a spicy chocolate.
That would be delightful.
Yes, it would. Okay. Eclectic Cabin says, if they ever ask for affiliate suggestions, tell them that they need a bulk price. Yes. I know they have boxes, but if I'm going to spend that much, I want a tub of it. And yes, I agree. I love the packets for the convenience, and they don't like turn to a solid block of electrolyte if you don't use it up, super fast. So I do love the convenience of the packets, but I do recognize that the tubs usually are the cheaper option, the bulk option. And I don't know exactly why they haven't gone that direction, but I've seen no signs that they are moving away from
that model
packets or adding that option. But one day it would be nice just to have that option, because all that packaging does cost money. So
I do like the individual packets in general, because that means that I can like send a bunch of them with my husband whenever he travels. Yes. He can store them in his backpack. I can keep them in the car. Like and you're not locked into one single flavor when you've got like a couple of different packets with you. I don't know.
Yeah, I do
but I do like the tubs of like the Relight from Redmond too. So it's kind of one of those, there's an option out there.
Yes. I opened one of the Relight tubs that I had recently, and it was like a solid block, like a disc, and I was like, what they should do is they should make like sugar cubes, but with the electrolyte. And then you just like throw a sugar cube at an electrolyte cube. That could be a new business plan. Electrolyte cubes.
Electrocubes.
Yeah. Anyways,
electrify
that was my brilliant idea to get the bulk, pricing, but then also the convenience of just throwing one into your cup.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Anyways, okay, so what?
You could press them into those little flat discs and then have them in a tube and then just like
oh yeah.
tap one
Like
in.
Airborne. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
That would work.
Sure.
Or Alka-Seltzer or something. Okay. So question here. Any solution to take that electrolyte puck back to being usable? I think the best thing to do is just to, break it into pieces because it's still going to be good. Like minerals, they don't just go away or go bad. Sure. Yeah.
Would just stab it with a fork a couple times and then pop it in your blender and whiz it up. Yeah. You're going to lose a little to the blender that way though. So it's probably easy to...
Depending on how much you have left in the jar, you could just take everything that's left and put it in a big pitcher and make a whole bunch of electrolyte drink.
Hey.
Keep it in your fridge. And
a spice grinder would be perfect, Jack.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah. Pez electrolytes. All right. Now we got some good business ideas.
We are working. We are crowdsourcing the concept.
It's going to be the next moneymaker.
Could you imagine having like little bobbleheads on the top of those? Like, here's Sean Baker.
Dr. Boz.
Look at my Dr. Boz.
Collectible. Dr. Atkins. That would be amazing. It would be a really big seller to a very small group of people. Very narrow. But they would love it.
Or they can turn that as like a little like a freebie marketing kind of a thing, like design it to be just like hey, if you buy this much, you get the free prize.
Yeah.
Prize at the end of the electrolyte box.
Yeah. What's it gonna be? All right. Okay, so we had talked last week. Did anyone even remember their homework that I gave you last week that you were supposed to bring today?
Anybody? I'm a homeschool mom, which means that I don't understand the concept of homework.
That's true. All work is homework.
All work is homework.
Well, I sat down probably 30 minutes ago and did mine. So
nice. I did.
Yeah. What about you, Lindsay? Did you bring anything for us today? And if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, I said
no, don't tell them. Oh. They should be here. They should have been here. No, I'm just kidding. You could tell.
We were going to talk about favorite holiday recipes, and if you had some to share, feel free to share. I will say that I don't believe people can put links in the live stream. So if you just maybe put the title of what kind of recipe, and if it's like from a specific blog, just put the name of that, and I'll try to find it and then put the link in the live chat while we're talking.
Sure.
But yeah, what do you have for us, Lindsay?
Okay, first of all, I cannot stand turkey. It is not my favorite. I will eat it if it is what is like the meat source provided, but that is not the business for me. I much prefer spiral cut ham, and I also much prefer a prime rib roast. Last year we made prime rib roast. Actually, I did in the oven, and it was phenomenal, like the end all be all. So I love a good solid prime rib roast, which was fortunate last year since they were so like deeply slashed on the prices. Right. Roasted Brussels or Brussels sprouts or deep fried Brussels sprouts in tallow. That's just not a recipe. That's just the method. You just drop them and then turn into little like flower looking guys. So cute. So those
do you cut them in half first?
Yeah.
Or do you do it whole? Okay.
I do them in half because the ones that we get are always fresh, but they're always like so big. Yeah. So like you can't really do the frying when it comes to those frozen ones that are like little bitty fellas. I mean, like that's the right size to take a bite of, but they're so like just frozen with wetness that you would literally have an explosion of grease everywhere. So
that one.
So those two things. And then the other thing that I really love is my grandmother's dressing. Now, dressing is different than stuffing. And I know that this is one of those hotly debated topics. There's no debate. Dressing goes in a pan in the oven. Stuffing goes into some sort of cavity of an animal. So
yes. You
those
have
are
to
the different things
somewhere.
Yeah, it has to be stuffed into something. That was not appropriate. So
that's going to be the thumbnail.
But gosh, okay, so if y'all are new to me in general, like since I've lived in this house, we used to live in the state of Wisconsin, and you will find on my channel my version of my grandmother's dressing recipe that I recreated in a keto way. And that must have been like 6 years back, maybe 5 years back on my channel. So that one always gets me. And I'm so glad that I've like got something that feels like that did. It's not identical, obviously, because it's not real bread, but it definitely satisfies that craving whenever I've got that. And then also eggnog.
Yeah.
All the eggnog. And I do have that video too. So
yeah. And I put your eggnog video link in the description of this video. And do you have any links? The stuffing recipe, do you have that one on the video?
Dressing is in a video, yes.
Dressing, sorry. Oh my gosh, I said it wrong.
Yeah, you
did. Let me see if I can find that. Ooh.
Yeah, it's just called low carb dressing.
I got it.
You found it.
Keep talking.
But I've also found that like as the years have progressed and the longer that I've lived this lifestyle, the more I get excited about things like the Brussels sprouts or just the meat in general. Yes. And so whenever I've got those things accessible, I'm just like, does anything else really matter? When we had Thanksgiving, all we had, or we did more of a barbecue style. And I know I said this already, but my plate had the Brussels sprouts and it had the pork, and I was a happy camper.
What else do you need?
Coffee.
So as far as the prime rib roast, that's not something that I ever make. And it's very sad to me. Like, it hurts my heart because my husband likes his meat well done. And I am not going to cook a prime rib roast well done. I mean, that just goes against my religion. It goes against every fiber of my being. It's not going to happen.
It's not appropriate.
I mean, it's bad enough that the cow had to die, but we don't have to like desecrate it also.
Right. The leather comes from the hide, not the meat.
Truth.
That's where we sit on that.
Jeff always says that I like my meat so rare that if you had put a Band-Aid on the cow, it would have lived.
I like to call it, if it's mooing, I'm chewing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not ashamed of it. So anyways,
it's closer to the natural state of being.
Yes. Yeah. And we're all about the whole primal, natural, closest to the earth.
That's right. If I could just rip the hair out and go at it like a lion, I'd not be unhappy about it. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So anyways, it makes me sad that, I mean, prime rib roast is just not something that I have ever made, and probably will not, spend a lot of time perfecting. I should find a good restaurant somewhere that makes a good prime rib roast, and then like I could at least have it sometimes.
Just have like one.
Yeah.
I think just have this one special prime rib.
Yes. So like when we got our half a cow, they're like, do you want the prime rib roast or do you want it cut up into rib steaks? I'm like, cut it up into rib steaks.
I told Jared when we were getting our cow, I was like, hey babe, so are we gonna get these as like prime rib roasts? That way, like, we could just decide if we wanted them to be, 2-inch thick steaks, or if we wanted to just keep it as a roast. And he was like, why would we do extra work for that? And I was like, flexibility. That's why. But he was like, no, let's just get it all cut into big, like 1.5-inch ribs or ribeyes. And I was like,
yeah. Okay. So this is an aside, but when I got my, when I was talking to the butcher about the steaks, and how I wanted them, I was like, I think I said, can you cut them to 1.5 inches? And he like almost laughed and he's like, that's way too thick. He's like, I maybe do a 1.25, but we usually do 1 inch. And I was like,
Okay, but
and I was
what
like,
usually happens is what the customer wants, I thought.
and I'm like, am I dumb? Like, I didn't know. Like,
No, you're
at
not.
that moment, I was like, okay, go ahead and do it the 1 inch. And so I got all these 1 inch thick steaks, and I'm like, that was stupid. Like, he was a super nice guy, and like everything, like there was no other issues at all. There's just that one moment where he was just like, oh, I would maybe go up to 1 1/4, but that would be super thick.
It's not. That was
No.
unfortunate. The
No,
next
yeah,
cow you
next time
get.
I'm gonna be like 2 inches.
That's right.
I'm putting my foot down. Anyways, that was an aside. I was just because it was one of those moments where it's like, I think I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not confident enough to like tell this butcher who does this for a living to do it the way I want it. It was so weird. Anyways, so prime rib, that is not something that I do, but I should come over to your house for that on Christmas.
10
Might
out of 10 agree.
might have to. Um, then so a lot of my Christmas, like our family Christmas holiday recipes are not keto. Like, I'm sad to say. I I apparently still have growth in that area. So the first one that we make every year that we give out as gifts, we talked about it last week, is truffles, chocolate truffles. We do all different flavors. And
Yeah.
we do like a special flavor every year, kind of like Keto Chow does special seasonal flavors. That's what we do also with our truffles. So we have our favorites, our regular line, and then we have our seasonal flavor that comes in every year. Anyways, so that's super fun. I love that. Um, so we talked last week about like trying to find non-food, but also still homemade things
Yeah.
that I would like to just get better at so that I have more options. Like at my exercise class, I don't want to bring them all truffles, like we're all there trying to be healthy. And
How
then
about you
here's a bag
exercise
of
and
chocolate.
here?
So I'd like to have, something else.
It's balanced.
Yes. I ran across a video by Serenity Hill Farmstead, which I've followed her for a while. And it was just, I think it was called 5 Herbal Gift Ideas or something.
Yeah.
She does all kinds of herbal stuff, tinctures, and like all of that. She's all into, I think she is an herbalist.
Oh, cool.
That's the title. Anyways, so there was like salve, which looked really cool. Where soak
Like a
it
drawing
through.
salve.
Yeah, well, it was like in the little tin, and you can use it for whatever. It does all the things, all the
Yeah.
things. And I was
Every
like,
single one of them.
that would be really fun to do. And it was like olive oil and beeswax, and then different essential oils and herbs and stuff. I was like, that would be an easy thing to do. You could do
Oh.
like and she had tinctures, and she did tea blends with different herbs. Anyways, I put the link to that video down in the description of this video as well, if anyone's curious about that, because I was like, that's some good ideas. So I'm going to be working towards that probably for next year. Probably won't get it all together for this year, but I'm getting my brain thinking about that, and I'm trying not to be the truffle person every year, and that be the biggest thing that we do. Okay, so anyways, all that to say, I do have a keto version of the truffles, because you can do like the sugar-free chocolate chips. Now, the sugar-free chocolate chips are better than they used to be. I tried them years ago and it did not work at all. And then now they've upped their game. So you can actually make the truffles with the Lily's chocolate chips and things like that. So that is another one. I have that link down below. And then 2 recipes that are not keto, but they're still pretty healthy. No grains or anything like that. Our Christmas Eve spare ribs were, this is my family's, on my dad's side, Danish tradition. So the basic recipe is you take 2 racks of spare ribs, and you lay one down with the bones up, and then you season it, and then you coat it with prunes and apples.
Ooh.
And then you put the other rack on top of it. So they're stuffed spare ribs. And then you bake it all day. Like that baking in the oven, like the pork fat and the sweet, it like all caramelizes together. and it like the stuffing inside makes this incredible, like, I don't know, chutney or something. Like
lazy kind of yumminess.
It's so good. And like the smell of it is Christmas. Like that's my childhood Christmas, all wrapped up in
Sounds
that
amazing.
It's so good. It's so good. So it's not keto, but it's apples and it's prunes, so it's not like chocolate cake. So that's one. And I did a version of that recipe where I used the Instant Pot, where I started the ribs in the Instant Pot. I had to cut the racks to be like half size so they would actually fit, but I cooked them in the Instant Pot to get them to like be falling apart, and then finished them off in the oven. So I do have a video on that down in the description. And then the last one that I always talk about is bacon wrapped dates.
Yes.
And
I knew that one was coming. I love those so much.
They're so good. So again, not keto because dates are sugar. But
pure sugar. They
paleo.
are literally God's candy.
Yeah. So and those ones are teriyaki. We do like teriyaki sauce. So there's a special teriyaki sauce I get that's gluten-free, and we cook those up. And I think that's going to be my kids' childhood Christmas like smell memory thing. Like
that's a good one to hold on to.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. And my husband, I mean, he will eat so many. Like I can't even I don't understand how it's physically possible to do that and then to be like 8% body fat.
Right?
I just don't understand. And so we were joking this year. So every year I make a huge amount because everyone, wants them and
devours them.
But then the next day, Jeff will take them all. And like, if he's going to work, he'll just take them all with him for his lunch to work. And so we were joking that his Thanksgiving tradition is to eat all of the leftover bacon wrapped dates and not share. And so someone was asking for one. He's like, no, that would be against my tradition. Like, I have to follow tradition. I don't share.
There are rules.
Yeah.
There are rules.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, it would be broken if we.
That's right. We'd have to start the year over again.
Yeah. I have considered like what kind of things could I wrap in bacon and do like the same kind of thing with that would be keto. And I mean, there's a lot of things that would be good, but I haven't come across anything that would even be close to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
Well, and I think that the beauty of a date is just the fact that like it's got that chew factor to it. And that doesn't happen in vegetables.
No, you're not going to.
Maybe you do it in a piece. Maybe like a piece of super like juicy brisket or pulled beef or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It just seems like a futile effort. So I haven't done it.
And the reality is that if you have those twice a year for your holiday meal festivities, and you're not like buying buckets of dates all the time,
right?
I don't know that it's really going to fully derail your quest in pursuing health.
And that's how I feel about it too. And that's one of the reasons we don't make them all year round. It's just because they're so good, and we want it to be special. Like it is special to have special things. If you have them all the time, they're not special anymore. Although I am curious if I did make.
Gotta switch up my lighting here. My lights are dying.
If I did make bacon wrapped dates all year long, would my husband eventually start gaining weight? It's that in the back of my mind. I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do.
This feels like a sabotage situation, and
I haven't done it, but like the scientific part of me is like, we need to find out.
We got to learn, and the only way to really learn is to experiment in a controlled environment.
Yeah. And so anyways, I think he'd get suspicious though.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So I figure when I experiment with things like bacon wrapped things, I have to just divorce it from the idea of bacon wrapped dates. Like like we talk about with making keto substitutes for things.
You mean like the fudge I made?
Well, but it's like Sometimes you're just never gonna get there. Like,
Yeah.
fudge, I feel like you could. Like, cheesecake,
Oh, yeah.
you could totally make a keto cheesecake, and it's really close, if not just as good as a regular
For sure.
cheesecake. And fudge, I haven't tried your fudge yet, but, I mean, I'm sure, like, that's something that you could get real close with.
How could you have not tried
Mhm.
it? I mean, it's been posted for, like, not even 2 hours
I
yet.
know. I've failed you.
How very dare you?
I have failed you. It does I've only gotten through, like, a third of the video too, so I haven't finished
You
the
gotta
video.
put them all on double speed. That's all I'm saying.
That's
Like,
true. That's true.
I
Yeah.
thank you, YouTube, for double speed.
Yes. So anyways, when I, 'cause I think, "What could I do in place of the dates that would be good?" And then I'm like, "I just need to, like, put that recipe aside." That recipe is special. It is delicious. Nothing will ever replace that. We will never have a keto version of a bacon wrap date that's as good as the
The
original.
original.
So
For sure.
but we can make a lot of delicious recipes with wrapping things in bacon, and we don't have to compare it to the bacon wrap dates.
Accurate.
You know what I mean? So,
That's
anyways.
100% truth.
Yes, so those were all of the recipes I had, and I did put all the links that I have in the description for anybody.
You're such a good YouTuber, Neely. You
No,
were, like, on
I
it,
I did it 5 minutes before we got on.
but you still did it before we showed up. Like, I didn't even think about the fact that I have my low carb dressing recipe and I didn't, like, say, "Hey, check, like, snag this one too," or, "Here's this direct one."
Oh, question here for you. What is glucomannan? It is in the egg
Oh,
recipe. That
Jennifer,
is
I
a
feel
good
like this
question.
question, like, was so far back. Glucomannan is a ground up powder that is from the konjac root, which is a fibrous root that is used in place of things like gluten or other sort of like gelatinous kind of things. You can also, instead of using glucomannan, if you don't have that and don't wish to buy it, you can easily use acacia fiber because that does a similar sort of function in that recipe. Or
Mhm.
you could use xanthan gum if you would like as well. Just anything to kind of help it thicken.
Would you
I
use
guess
the same amount, do you think? Like 1 for
I
1?
find that xanthan gum and glucomannan are a pretty solid 1-to-1 substitution. Um, and just based on like how much I've played with acacia fiber, I also think that acacia fiber would be a 1-to-1.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So
Um,
Jennifer, I hope you're still here.
yes, we didn't get to that very timely. Okay.
We're
Yeah,
very not great at getting comments
yes.
when they
I went
immediately
back though because I wanted to make sure to get anybody's, recipe suggestions that
Sure, 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 sure.
asked for. Okay, but this
Mhm.
was a question about keto chow. Um, first time making a live, welcome, and first time keto chow person, welcome to the
Welcome
club.
to the club.
Can you quickly mention, your best way to make keto chow pudding? What is your favorite way, Lindsay, while I find a recipe?
So I know that on the Keto Chow recipes zone of the website, they suggest using heavy cream. I personally prefer using Joe and Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos version doing the eggs and blending it in a blender. I just find that heavy cream, like, it's super bingeable for me. And so I really appreciate the fact that they came out with one. It's much more moussey than like a thick cooked like pudding, but it gives you a similar enough effect that I find it's just like my personal preference when it comes to pudding.
Yes, so that is exactly what I was gonna say, and that was the recipe I was looking for, and I found it, and I
Winning.
put it in the chat for everyone. Okay, let me see, now I
We're
lost my
always
alright,
twinning.
yes. Yeah, so that egg pudding recipe is delicious. I made it with the butterscotch, keto chow, that was really good. I tried it with the, pecan sticky bun. I
Uh-huh.
felt like the flavor got too muted of the pecan sticky bun. I was like,
Sure.
"Do that again." But I think any chocolate flavor would be fantastic.
Agreed.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I've done it with blueberry pie, which
Oh,
it
yeah.
that and chocolate core are my two top favorites. And chocolate core makes an amazing chocolate pudding.
Okay.
But then the blueberry pie, I loved it. But I tell you what, I don't know if you loved oatmeal as a kid or like anything. I used to absolutely love oatmeal. And so I worked at trying to make like a hot oatmeal, but using the egg whites, like cooking the egg whites and kind of like mixing it all together. And it actually gave me a texture that didn't disappoint. It was weird, but it was good and it was warm.
Okay. Do you have a video on that?
I don't. I'm still kind of like in the like that's still in the testing phases.
Yes. It's funny. I never liked oatmeal growing up, and my mom didn't force us to eat it either. It was just not something. All of my kids love oatmeal. Like Autumn growing up, oatmeal, she would have oatmeal every single day. Like it was her favorite thing. She still loves it. I don't understand. Now I think I would enjoy it.
Sure.
But as a kid, and now I can't, or choose not to eat it. But yeah, that's the way it goes, doesn't it? Gosh.
Yeah. So my littlest, Lauren, she's basically a clone of me, and it's hilarious because I'd say about 50% of the time she's like, "Can I have my oatmeal? Can I have oatmeal?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's what I loved as a kid too." Yes, baby, you can have your oatmeal.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Okay. It is ridiculous. How does that happen? Okay. Didn't you have a recipe not too long ago of a pudding made with gelatin also?
I do.
Core?
That was made with core. So it was like as close to carnivore as it could possibly be. The only parts of it that were not carnivore were the sweetener and the actual chocolate that was like the cocoa powder in the keto chow core flavor.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and dig for that. Practically carnivore chocolate pudding.
Yeah.
That made me feel very Mary Poppins whenever I said it was practically, practically perfect in every way.
Yes. Okay. Every time I post a comment, I lose my spot in the chat and I have to find it again.
No.
Okay. So as far as other recipes people are suggesting, Gary says, let's see, Instant Pot, sausage, green beans, and potatoes. Okay, that sounds
solid.
Really, he posted a correction that it was not Culinary Shades, but Monday is Meatloaf recipe. Instant Pot, green beans, sausage, and potatoes. That sounds really good. That's something that I really like. Okay, and then Eclectic Cabin says pesto star bread is one of my favorites. Haven't figured out how to keto-fy that yet. That sounds really good. I did a pull-apart pesto rolls with the egg white bread that turned out really good. Let me see if I can find that. I wonder how you can make it star-like. I
got to get a visual on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you could do that with fathead dough.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, because the egg white bread
a lot of cheese. A lot of cheese, but I bet.
Yes, a lot of cheese. The egg white bread, that's the one thing about it is it's not
moldable or shapeable.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah. But that definitely, I had to pull up a visual of it because my mind's eye, I was thinking like it was like focaccia, kind of shaped like a star.
Yeah, I need a picture too. Let's see. Oh, I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I found one.
Oh, yeah, show us. Oh, yeah, those are so pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah, you could totally do that with fathead dough. It would be very cheesy.
Super duper cheesy.
Which, you know what? On Christmas, go for it. Like,
yeah,
it's the holiday in Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, or just a special afternoon.
Happy holidays.
Let's see. Now I'm
celebrate your life
again. Okay. Jennifer Johnson says Alicia's Christmas cookies from Keto Upgrade. Oh, I think I saw those last year and I was like, I'm going to make those. And then I never did. Non-keto friends and family can't tell the difference. Okay.
That's fantastic. We got to grab that one.
Yeah. Do you have any like Christmas cookie recipes that you like, keto-fied ones?
I'm sure that I do, but I'd be racking my brain to kind of like dig back in the archives of my brain. And I also tend to not make big batches of cookies just because I will eat them all in a really, really small amount of time, which is not appropriate for that kind of food. I will say, like, one of the things that I can do is just like make one recipe of something and then just consume the whole thing of it. So I really like single batch or like single serving type things, like the mug cakes and stuff like that. I know like as like whenever you're first starting in on like trying to eliminate the processed foods and the seed oils and the sugars and all of those things that we know can be pretty inflammatory to a lot of us, it's hard to do that cold turkey and just say, well, I'm just going to meat, salt, and water. Here we go, and just be happy with your life. I personally really love mug cakes for that purpose, or like I have a single serve cookie that I like to do. That one's, you know, just always actually mixed up in my pantry.
Is
So
that the chocolate chip
yeah,
cookie
it's
in a dish
master.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've done that one. That one is really good.
It's so simple too.
Yeah.
So I like having that. So I really love chocolate chip cookies. My husband loves soft ginger cookies, which are different from like a snickerdoodle, but it kind of has that similar texture to it. I have not yet like made that in a way that is more friendly to us low carb keto-y type peoples, but that sounds like something I need to write down on a Post-it
That would
note.
be really good. Okay, what was the cookie you made last year at some point that was the little coffee beans?
Oh, you're
Those
right.
were so good. I never made them. I just know that they're good because they're adorable and they look delicious.
Those
I should
chocolate,
make them.
the chocolate coffee cookies. Yes, I forgot about those. Like that's the problem whenever you're constantly making things and
Yes.
making new things. It's like, what? I totally plumb forgot about that. Those were delicious. Those were also pretty bingeable for me. So that's sort of like a danger zone.
Yes. That is
And
the
I
thing.
will say, I ebb and flow with my whole like, do I want to do things that are like just as simple as possible, or do I want to like create all the recipes? So I struggle and I go back and forth between those two things. So forgive me for not being hyper consistent with that.
Yeah, well, I'm
Where
the same.
are they?
I found it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Ah.
Well, now my heart just wants to find it anyway.
Keto chocolate coffee cookies, low carb Christmas cookies, sugar-free recipe.
Ta-da! Those are fantastic. They are a little laborious, if you will. But they are so adorable and so worth it. Like if you're going to a cookie swap to do that kind of thing, those are the ones to do, in my opinion.
Yes. Okay. Rickwin says, with the new peppermint flavor of Keto Chow, make the small cheesecakes with chocolate crumb crust. That sounds delicious. That would be amazing. So I've done a few no-bake cheesecake recipes from Keto Chow, which they're all delicious. And I've only done one baked Keto Chow cheesecake, and that one I messed up on and did double the amount of eggs I was supposed to, so it didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. So I need to do what I'm saying is I need to do it again and really because Two Crazy Ketos have a great recipe. Their chocolate toffee cheesecake, which you can do any flavor with. But yeah, with the chocolate crumb crust and the cheesecake, and if you have some kind of a peppermint crumble on top, oh man, that sounds like Christmas.
It does. It totally does.
Okay.
I also love those little tiny cheesecakes. Like I've got some that are like the little 4-inch size also.
Oh yeah, is that gonna work? Do I get them today? Oh, gosh, I never. So unfair. Okay. Let's see. Jack says, Planning to use your breading to make chicken parmesan for Christmas this year. Oh, that's awesome. By request
That
family. That's a fantastic idea.
that is a beautiful idea.
Yeah, so what? Go ahead.
I was thinking like you never mind. My father-in-law, when he was alive, he made this stuff, it was crab crusted grouper, and I'm thinking like you mix your breading recipe into like crab or something like that to then top on top of fish if you are a fishy kind of a person.
That sounds really good. Yeah, and so my breading, it's dairy free just by itself, but if you add in like the powdered Parmesan cheese, it's, I
Next
mean,
level.
it's really good. Because I made the Parmesan wings in a recipe recently. Those were so good. Like, I feel like that video did not get as many views as it should have, just because that recipe was so good. It's like I'll put up a bread video, and like
Yeah.
views just go like through the roof, and then I put up a chicken wing video, and it's like, a few, and I'm like, okay, these chicken wings are better than the bread. Like,
they're
hands
chicken
down.
wings.
Chicken wings, and they're crispy, and they're Parmesan, and they like have this sauce that has like parsley and garlic, and oh my gosh, they were so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so that's made with my protein breading plus the powdered Parmesan cheese. And I'll give you a tip. Add in, if you can, baking powder.
Yes.
Because I think it really does. I need to do like a side-by-side test to show the difference, but I have the feeling that it does really make it crispier, and like it stays crispier. So add teaspoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. The chemistry on that, it works out fantastic to add the baking powder to it. But there's an even more like leveled up version to crispify them. And that is like you can do your breading recipe and then add in the baking powder, but coat your chicken wings and then leave them in the fridge for 1 to 4 hours.
Like coat them in the breading.
Coat them in the breading. Leave them in the fridge for 1 to 4 hours. Pull them out and then bake them up.
Because it dries it out more?
Yes, it dries out that skin so much. And if you bake them, it still tastes so crispy as if you would have fried or air fried them.
All right, we're gonna do it. So good. And
it's
then
all about those techniques.
Yes, and then also when I did the chicken and waffles, that was another one that was so good. Because I just took a fried chicken, like buttermilk fried chicken recipe, and keto-fied it, cutting out the flour and doing the protein breading instead. And so it was like soaked in a buttermilk marinade for at least an hour. And then
I bet those were so juicy.
Oh my gosh. They are so good. Like, my husband was like, regular fried chicken has nothing on this. Like,
yeah.
Because the joke is, I'll make something and he comes in, he's like, okay, tell me what's wrong with this.
Jeff and
like, it doesn't have sugar, it doesn't have, whatever. And so he like took a bite of it, he's like, there is nothing wrong with this.
You're like, going into this, eyes wide open. It's gonna be awful. You're not gonna like it. Eat it anyway.
Exactly. So anyways, there's so many options with the protein breading. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yes.
Okay. This is from Sing It.
You found it.
I make cornbread dressing all year round. I use Southern Keto Cookbook almond flour.
Sure.
And doctor it up to taste like my mom's. Have you ever had the Southern Keto Cookbook? Because I have not. But I hear people just rave about it, and that it's like.
I will tell you this much: it is a good cookbook. It is very simple, in my opinion. Like so simple.
And some people, want the simple.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, and like, I'm not someone who is like super keen on everything being as like simple and efficient as possible, because I get excited about trying to figure out an alternate route.
Yes.
So I'm not the ideal person to teach everybody like how to only do basics all the time.
Yes, I'm the same way, but I feel like I either want it to be as simple and streamlined as possible, or I'm up for an adventure, like there's
Oh,
no
always.
middle ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
If
I
I'm
don't.
stressed, it's simple. If I'm not stressed, it's always the adventure. What's the next adventure?
Yes. I forgot to say what that link was. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely a mix of the two because it's like
Mm-hmm.
most of the time I just want it to be as simple as possible. But
Sure.
it also tastes good, like find
Yeah.
the find the happy medium. And then occasionally I'm like, we're gonna make fried chicken and waffles because it's delicious, even though
Yeah,
it's a little bit more
exactly.
involved.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing of it. Like a lot of these things, I don't make them all day, every day. Like my fudge from today, that's not an everyday kind of a make. But like
Yes.
the fudge that you made with the sugar-free chocolate chips and the creams, that
Yeah.
is much more friendly to an everyday, like I have a
Mm.
hankering, I'm just gonna do it.
Yes.
Now, the other thing, like the chocolate or the keto coffee chocolate cookies that I have,
Mhm.
those are not an everyday cookie. But
Mhm.
my cookie in a bowl, like a cookie in a mug thing, that can be an everyday thing,
Yeah.
and it'll all work out in the wash.
Yes. Penny is asking, and I think this is referring to the half cow conversation,
Oh,
that I never did get the bones. I didn't end up like trying to track them down. My
sure.
husband and I decided to put in an order for another half a cow. So I was like, I'm just going to make sure on the next one that I get
Yeah,
them
yeah,
all.
right.
So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I still have a whole bunch of goat bones actually that I haven't used yet. So I have plenty of bones if I want to make some broth. So it wasn't critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keto Simple is here and Uncle Big
Hey,
Guy is here.
Dustin and Uncle Big
Risa,
Guy.
Risa is here, or at least she was. Gotta
I'm sure
get
she
to work.
had to duck out.
Yep.
But I
And
saw that
she,
Chris and Lynette are here.
what? Chris and Lynette. It's a
Yeah, that
party.
was a while ago. Chris had gone to the dentist.
Oh.
Fortunately, he still has all his teeth. Or unfortunately, I don't know how you'd look at that.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on with your teeth, I guess. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's more. Gary was suggesting chicken breast chunks to wrap in bacon or meatballs to wrap in bacon. That might be a fun one to do, a bacon wrapped meatball with like a sticky sweet sauce on
I
it.
was gonna say, like, if you pull out like a jelly, make it
Yeah,
sugar-free, coat the meatballs in the sugar-free jelly, and then wrap them in the bacon,
yeah,
that might give
that
you
could be good.
something.
I
That's
mean,
a
I'm
great
still not
idea
going to compare it to bacon wrapped dates, but
because
it could
they
have
can't.
value in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. All right. Okay. So Chris says it was just a cleaning and nothing weird to report. That's good. It's always bad when you have weird things to report from the dentist.
Yes.
That's not a good day. Let's see.
Tell you what's not a good day is whenever you're at the dentist, not expecting it to like all of a sudden take an expensive turn. So
Yes, that is
yay
the
for nothing to report.
worst. Um uh, Oh, okay. Okay. Chris is asking, Dustin, I hear your wife actually liked the peppermint keto chow. What is up with that?
Yeah,
If
she
you
never
guys,
likes anything.
yes, if you guys have not watched Keto Simple, and they have not put out that I have seen taste tests recently, which I'm pretty upset about because they are a
Yeah.
highlight of the week. Their taste tests are so fun, mostly because especially Chandra does not typically like things,
Right.
but you just have to experience it. So after this live, go over to Keto Simple, scroll back to some of their taste tests. They're pretty phenomenal. You will thank me. Let's see. But apparently she liked the peppermint keto chow. I don't think I saw that one yet. So
That's fantastic.
that's gonna be fun. Let's see, any more recipes in here? Okay, good. Jenny was still here and got the pudding recipe.
Oh, good.
Thought about that. It's a lot of conversation between Chris
Tons of conversation
Dustin.
for sure. It's like they're friends or something. It's weird.
It's like they don't even need us. Like they can just go have their own conversations. Like we're not even here.
We're just facilitating a chat room for them.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah. And we're happy to do it. My husband wants his meat so overdone. I cook it, slice his piece off, and put it in the pan. Yes, I do that too sometimes. It just hurts my heart every time.
I really don't eat leather shoes.
Yes. Well, and then the worst times, and this doesn't happen every time, but there are a few times where it's like I do the hard work of destroying the meat. And then he's like, oh, it's too tough.
Idea.
Okay.
You cook his meat after you have soaked it in a color solution, like natural food coloring, to make it more brown so that it looks darker and doesn't have any of the red pinkness to it. And then you hand it to him and you're like, ta-da! And then he's like, oh, it's so juicy. Oh,
better than anything you've ever made.
This is amazing. And it's well done. I feel like though that would kind of get into the sabotage realm.
Yes.
And
yes.
along with the bacon
we try not to sabotage our husbands,
Not on purpose. I tell you that for sure. I'm sure I have. And it's just been not on purpose.
Right. It is funny. We kind of had the opposite thing happen with the coloring because some meats, they do some weird thing to it to make it to make it stay pink.
Yes.
And so there have been times where it's like I cook the thing to death and it's still pink inside. And I have to be like, it's well done. Like it really is. And he's like, but it's still pink. And I'm like, I can't help you. Science is working against me here.
This has turned into jerky and it's not turning color.
And it's still pink. Yeah.
And he's got the comment, soak it in lots of broth. That's right.
Yeah. Make him stew every time.
There you go.
Well done. We'll cook it well done.
I just can't with that. No. The cow gave its life for you, so let's make sure we kill it twice.
Make it roll over in its grave.
Or in the freezer.
Yeah. I'm hearing things coming out of the freezer. What is going on in there? It's the cow turning over in its freezer. Okay. Keto Oregonian just got notified that her peppermint keto chow has shipped.
You are gonna love it.
Yeah, it's super good.
I was absolutely blown away. Jared did taste it before me.
Oh yeah.
Gave me no indications whatsoever. And I was actually quite glad. And whenever he finished, he was like, it was just kind of not as strong as I would have expected. And I'm like, I felt like it was exactly like those candies. Like that is exactly what it was. The peppermint sticks.
Yeah,
I'm in it.
I never really was a peppermint candy person. So I don't know that I've had the melt away ones that they were talking about that it tastes like. Yeah. I did think the smell when you open the package was stronger than the taste. Like when it actually got mixed up, I was like, oh, I expected it to be like a little bit stronger, but I liked it. Like it was just, it's super refreshing.
Yes.
Very creamy and delicious.
And
and you can always add a little bit more peppermint extract if you really want that super punch in the face.
I love punch in the face flavor.
I know that about you. You just like punches in the face, period. Yeah, okay. So this is a good suggestion for the prime rib. Cook the prime rib super rare and then cut off the husband's piece and fry it in the frying pan. I should do that. You know what? I should do that. It just hurts my heart every time.
Jared just said that it was so sad because I didn't use butter.
For
peppermint buttermints. I'm assuming he's home because I heard a big ruckus. A
no,
bunch of people
cow turning over in the freezer.
There goes the brisket.
Oh goodness. Okay. Bill is asking, says bamboo flour V2. I'm not sure what that is. But it says over $100 of ingredients. Got anything cheaper? So
I'm assuming that he's talking about like all of the ingredients to make keto or Victoria's Keto Kitchen flour.
okay.
I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah.
I could be way wrong. Oh, he's at home, so the girls are in the kitchen making a ruckus. Or he isn't at home.
Yeah. So I have never made.
It was the cow.
I have never made any of those. If you're talking about the ones from Victoria. Yeah, I can't help you with that. The egg white bread recipes. I mean, the ingredients are not super cheap, but if you're able to get a good deal on the egg white powder, which there have been a few recently, like really good deals, it's not terribly expensive. Like you can make a loaf for less, maybe less, or maybe as much as buying a loaf of keto bread from the store.
Sure.
Keto bread's not cheap either.
No.
So yeah, and I've tried the bamboo fiber in recipes, and it's a fine addition, but I don't think it's worth spending a ton more than, what you would spend on acacia fiber or psyllium husk or something that's a little more readily available.
Psyllium husk.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't have okay, I will say the closest I think I will ever come to creating a flour, like a replacement flour, I think the closest I'll come is the egg white bread mix that I made. And I personally do not, I would not make a flour blend that's keto and say, you can use this in a recipe that calls for wheat flour. Like, I'm not going to do that because wheat flour and all of the other keto flours are so different that I don't think first of all, I don't think it's possible to be like, you can just take any recipe that calls for flour and use this instead and it'll work.
Right.
I tend to spend my time on creating recipes with the alternative flours so that you're sure to come up with a good finished product.
Yeah.
Because they work differently. So if you're making a recipe that was designed for wheat flour and replace it with things that don't work like wheat flour, you're not going to get the results of wheat flour. So I would rather start making the recipe with those alternative flours in understanding how they work and what they do in recipes. And I think you're going to get a better finished product in the end. At least that's what I have found. So all that being said, you won't find me creating a flour blend. I know a lot of people love the different flour blends that are out there, and there are definitely recipes that can be made with them that are good, but that's just not the direction that I would go. The closest, like I said, I would do is the egg white bread mix that is not like regular bread. It is egg white bread, and I just kind of try to show all the things that you can do with it.
I mean, I do like the baking blend that I've got.
Yes.
That one.
But would you take a recipe that called for wheat flour and make it with that and be like, oh, it didn't work? What? Like, be surprised.
No. You can play with it. I mean, and I always go into every experiment knowing that it's going to fail.
Yes.
And that I'm going to have to tweak it, and I'm going to have to like adjust and just try again. Yes. I don't ever go into it thinking that, oh, I'm going to take this one thing, this beef Wellington, and I'm going to create beef Wellington ketoified using my own baking blend. Like, that's not ever my approach. I know it's not going to work. And
right.
It's one of those things.
A lot of experimentation.
And the more that you play with the different ingredients, if that's the path you enjoy taking, the more you're going to get a feel for it and kind of just instinctively know, like, if I do this instead, I'm going to wind up with this kind of result.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Sing it. Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Wendy from Loving It on Keto has been making keto chow protein cookies with all the flavors.
Mhm.
I will have to try that because I know they don't use almond flour. And
Mhm.
so I always love checking out their recipes because I know because there's so many recipes that pop up. I'm like, oh, that looks good, and then click over to it. It's like 3 cups of almond flour. And I'm like, well, that one's not for me.
Yeah.
So I know from Wendy they're not going to be doing that. So I'll have to check that out.
I actually have started experimenting with my baking blend to eliminate the almond flour and use something different in place of it.
Mhm.
And so far, results have been, oh, yes, thumbs up. The results have definitely surprised me in a positive way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and so
it's not another nut flour.
Okay.
At all. It's a totally not a nut flour.
Yeah, and I will say that I'm not opposed to almonds like in small quantities. Like there was a time where I couldn't digestively handle nuts at all.
Right.
But now I can handle them. I just know that a lot of them are not good for me. So I try to avoid recipes where like almond flour is the main. Are you okay?
Oh, I see. I was like, what is happening in my background after the stars?
That's funny.
Do
Do you know of a crunchy keto ginger snap cookie? Because I don't think I do offhand.
So
That's good.
I think to do that, I don't have a recipe on this, but I definitely would like to work on one because I have an idea.
Yes.
Crisp.
What was it a gingerbread cookie that you made with keto chow or a snickerdoodle? Was it snickerdoodle that you made?
What on earth, Pen? Yeah, I believe I've made snickerdoodles with keto chow.
I seem to remember that. See, I have all of these in my mind because I was like, I'm going to make those, and then I never did. Are those cookies delicious keto snickerdoodles?
Okay, so sing it. I have an idea on how to do the ginger snaps. I don't know if they will officially like snap the way that a classic ginger snap would. But I think I have an idea on how to not make them pillowy like a soft ginger cookie. So if I don't work on that this month, I will attempt to work on it starting in January. But we've got lots going on.
Okay, let's.
But I definitely have some ideas there because I've been thinking a lot about this too. And I'm sorry, I gotta write and talk at the same time. That's not possible.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Like Oreo cookies have that similar texture to a ginger snap as far as like it's thin, not cakey, not puffy, not soft, not chewy. It's snappy. And I watched Joshua Wiseman. Are you familiar? You know his channel?
I have watched a few of his videos. I don't watch it regularly. Yeah.
Sure. Well, Jared was suggested an Oreo but better, like make it but better kind of a video series that he does. And he made them and they were whoopie pies.
Oh.
They were not cookies. And I'm like,
sounds good though. Have you seen the Oreo Cakesters?
My goodness, I remember when those came out. Amazing.
And they're just like Oreo whoopie pies.
It was a whoopie pie for sure. But the way Joshua Wiseman made them, I was like, but and I had thoughts and I had ideas. So I also have an idea to try to modify the Oreo cookie situation. So we have children. Oh my gosh, we've been on here for an hour, 10 minutes.
I know. I was just going through the chat, making sure that we didn't miss anything that you really needed to highlight.
Chris Bear's question. Bring it in.
Is it at the end?
Bring it in. Oh, and Jared told me not to hate on Joshua Wiseman.
Question from Linda about the chai
I'm empty
element.
and I have some sadness.
So just tried the new raspberry chocolate element, and wow, yeah, it is really good, especially in hot chocolate. And have you guys tried the chai one yet? I was mentioning at the beginning that I am drinking a chai tea with the chocolate chai element and some cream, and it's delicious, of course. But I was saying that I would like to find a way to use the element, the chai element without like chai tea, because I feel like I'm not really appreciating the chocolate chai element for what it is. So I'm trying to figure out a good way to use it. There's a lot of people that just put the element in hot water and maybe add a little bit of cream and drink it just like that. So I might just have to try it that way and see how it is. But yeah, they're all really, really good.
I also feel like any of the chocolate medleys would make a delicious little like gummy.
Oh, yeah.
But do it creamy.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, because you can totally do like a creamy gummy. Did you ever make the THM skinny truffles?
So I tried them, I'm pretty sure, whenever I was first on the adventure with them. And I cannot like place the texture in my mind's eye.
Okay, it's made with gelatin, which is an interesting.
I do love gelatin. Gelatin is such a great ingredient.
So it's coconut oil and then gelatin and hot water, and it just makes like they were taking the coconut
you can
oil
bite through it, but it has a bit of a chew.
Yeah. Anyways, that would be really fun to make with the element in there. I might have to try that. I did an experiment with using that concept with brown butter bites.
Yeah.
So I made the brown butter and then I added the water and gelatin. You have to like have hot water and all that and mix it all up together. And it worked pretty good. It definitely, was a lot softer than the actual brown butter bites, or like eating a stick of butter. But anyways, yeah, that's a good one. And it might be fun for the different chocolate element flavors. Okay. I feel like we still missed a whole bunch of stuff, but we do need to get off of here. We can't just sit here all day talking about recipes. Okay,
I've been standing. I am up here.
You're a better person than I am. Good job.
I struggle to sit, to be honest. I'm so fidgety that it's way more obvious whenever I sit. So if I could avoid that, that'd be cool.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
Okay. So
if
you do still have any recommendations or favorite recipes that you love to make at Christmas time or at the holiday seasons, or just, winter is like that one. You're like, that's the one I always make. Be sure to link it in the comments section. Yes. That you can't do it in the live chat, and whenever we're done with the live chat, you can't add that anyway. But put them in a comment so that we all can go and investigate them and give them a try.
Yes, that would be great. I feel like we covered a lot of recipes today.
So many.
Because I was brainstorming and I got my 4 recipes or whatever it was. I'm like, that's not very many. But I feel like as we talked, a whole bunch, especially cookie recipes. Now we need to go make cookies.
Do a keto cookie swap.
I know. Wouldn't that be fun?
But people don't always just bring cookies. They also bring candies. So make some of Neely's truffles or some of her fudge or some of my fudge. That's old-fashioned fudge, which is a different texture. And so I really want people to go try it out and tell me if they like it.
Yeah. Like me. That's what I'm doing right now. I am currently right now making your fudge because that's what friends do.
That's what friends are for.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you guys had fun. We will be back same time, same place. I don't have any homework for you this week, so you're off the hook.
No. Oh, come on now. Come on. How about just more of the homemade gifts that are not foods?
There you go. Think towards that, because we did a lot of thinking about food today. Let's think about non-food.
Switch gears.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.